Hi everybody, Zach Mitchell here. What are some of your favorite concert documentaries? I'm going to show you some of mine. Now, these are in no particular order, but I do have a large movie collection, as you've probably seen in one of my videos before. So I do collect movies along with music, and I do collect concert DVDs, or rockumentaries, if you will. So I'm going to show you all of them in my collection right now. The first one being the 40th anniversary of the movie Woodstock, which is the documentary that came out in 1970 about obviously the Woodstock Festival. And this includes the 4-hour director's cut plus over 3 hours of bonus content, including never-before-seen performances. Now, that is actually not true. In this pack, you do get a lot of extras, and you do get all of the bonus performances, but the movie itself is the original 3-hour movie. This is not 4 hours long. I mean, if you add in the previously unreleased performances that are available on extras, then it would probably equal up to 4 hours, but this itself is not 4 hours, it's 3 hours. But overall, the movie is very good, and I would give it probably 4.5 out of 5 stars. Next up, this is kind of an interesting documentary. I think this was made in the late 90s or the mid 90s or something like that. It's called The History of Rock and Roll. It is a 10-hour documentary, just documenting rock and roll from the early 50s when it first started, all the way up to the early 90s when it pretty much died off. But it has some very good interviews in it with Pete Townsend, Jimmy Page, a lot of people from Pink Floyd, a lot of really cool clips of performances too. So I would recommend this documentary. It's really cool. I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars as well. Next up, I've got the Criterion Collection version of the Monterey Pop Festival, just on regular DVD. It is a very great documentary by D.A. Pennebaker. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, Pennebaker. But, it includes great performances by Jimi Hendrix, where he lit his guitar on fire while playing Wild Thing. It includes The Who smashing up their instruments during the end of My Generation. Simon and Garfunkel's performance, Otis Redding's performance. I already said that. Who else? The Mamas and the Papas. It's a great documentary. It includes the original film, Monterey Pop Festival. It also includes Otis Redding's complete performance, which was the very first time at this festival that he performed for a white audience. And it includes Jimi Hendrix's complete performance. So it is a great documentary. It also comes with a very thick book that includes a bunch of interesting facts about the movie. So I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I have the 12-12-12 concert for the Sandy relief, which is the concert that they did in December 12th after Hurricane Sandy at Madison Square Garden. A bunch of great musicians like Roger Waters, Billy Joel, the Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, Alicia Keys. I'm not going to mention Kanye West because I don't like Kanye West. Chris Martin from Coldplay, The Who. Just a lot of great performances in this documentary here. I would give this a definite 5 out of 5 because it's just perfect. I also have the CD that comes along with it. The only problem that I have with it is it does not include the entire concert. It only includes like the best bits of it. But even that can be overlooked. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. I have the Doors collection, which includes three, I guess you can call them films that Ray Manzarek made while they were the Doors. One of them is called Dance on Fire, which includes a bunch of music videos that they made. The second one is Live at the Hollywood Bowl, which is a complete live concert. And the third is The Soft Parade, which again includes a bunch of music videos and a couple of interviews with the Doors. I'm not so much into the music videos. I never really have been a music video fan. I'd much rather just listen to the album itself, but the Live at the Hollywood Bowl performance is superb. I would give this DVD a 4 out of 5. Couple more DVDs by the Doors. The Doors are one of my all-time favorite bands. I have the documentary by Tom DeCilio, When You're Strange, narrated by Johnny Depp, which is a great documentary on the history of the band and their whole career. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. I have the Doors, the making of their debut album, the Classic Albums DVD collection. Great documentary. If you've seen the Classic Albums, they do great vault openings and great interviews about the making of these albums. I would give this 4 out of 5. And I have Mr. Mojo Rising, the story of LA Woman, the documentary on the making of their last album. It's very good. I would give this 4.5 out of 5. This is something I just bought recently. I've been getting into the Beach Boys a lot recently, and I got this on DVD. It's Brian Wilson Presents Smile. It was the very first time that he's ever performed the Smile album live. And he does a great job of it. And it also includes a documentary called Beautiful Dreamer, Brian Wilson and the Story of Smile, which is incredible. It's a little documentary on a short plethora of the band's history, the Beach Boys, and then a great deal of storytelling on the making of Smile that never did get released. And then it goes into telling the making of the actual performance. So it's really good. I would give the documentary a 4.5 out of 5, and I would give the concert itself 5 out of 5. I have two versions of this film. I have the original DVD and I have the newly released Blu-ray of The Beatles' Hard Day's Night. This has been out of print, but they just released this on Blu-ray on the Criterion Collection, and it's a very nice packaging. This is an incredibly hilarious movie. The Beatles are one of the best bands ever, and I would give this movie a 5 out of 5. If you haven't seen it, see it. I have the Beatles movie Yellow Submarine, which is not as good as A Hard Day's Night, but it's still the Beatles, so it's still good. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. And I have the documentary The U.S. versus John Lennon, which is a documentary on his involvement in the protests of the Vietnam War. It's a pretty good documentary, but it doesn't really go much into depth of John's past. It kind of just throws us into the documentary, expecting us to know everything that led up to these events. But overall, it's a pretty good movie. I would give it 4 out of 5. I have the newly remastered DVD of Paul McCartney and Wings' Rock Show, which is an incredible performance. It was also released as an album, Wings Over America, which is a great live album, and the DVD is even better. I would give this DVD a 5 out of 5. I just saw Paul McCartney this Monday, and he was great. I have one of my favorite concert rockumentaries of all time, and it's the concert for Bangladesh, the George Harrison and Friends concert that he did at Madison Square Garden to raise money for the victims of the Bangladesh invasion. It's a great concert. It includes great performances by George, Leon Russell, Billy Preston, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan even. So I would give this a 5 out of 5.